What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Madai ChaKell, and I'm checking in on Industry's Most Wanted.
It's peculiar, it's peculiar, I could be the one for you, baby. Could have been the one. You see me all up in your Insta feed. I'm so excited, put your hands on.
Hey, what's going on? It's your girl, TampaMystic, and we are live. Where are we at?
Industry.
Big Industry's Most Wanted, not the little one. Oh, listen, we have a superstar checking in. Shout out to Madai ChaKell. How you doing, beauty?
I'm doing good. How are you?
It's always a vibe with you. Every time. Every time. I just want to, give you your flowers real quick. Like, you are beautiful on the inside and out. You project good energy. You're super talented. You're a mega superstar. You're a gem. I just wanted to give you your flowers real quick.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We have so much to talk about. Much to talk about. But before we do all that, give us that official introduction.
Should I say it to camera?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Madai ChaKell, and I am an all-around entertainer. I sing, I act, I dance, and I'm here to put smiles on people's faces, make you laugh, and make you think about some things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's talk first before we get into music. You have such a big personality. A beautiful personality. You have the type of personality that I would want to be around all the time. And I'm not just telling you that because I love who you are. Where does that good energy come from? Let's just get that out the way first.
Yeah, well, honestly, it just starts with my faith. I really make sure that I'm aligned, and I wake up and pray and just figure out where I want to go, what I want to be. I look in the mirror and I dissect myself a lot, and I say, okay, what do you want to fix, and how are we going to get there? Yeah.
So as a woman, and I understand this, we feel like, and men too, I'm sure, but every day we feel like there's something we can improve on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we're constantly working on ourselves, and that's okay because we always are changing. Tell us about the city you grew up in.
Well, I grew up in Springfield, Massachusetts. It is a very, very, very small city. Everyone knows everyone. But there wasn't too much spaces where there were a lot of creatives, but there were people who curated those vibes for people who were creative. Yeah. And it was spotted on me at a very young age that that's something that I should do. They told my mom that anytime anyone met me, you need to put your daughter in something. Yeah. So she did, and from there, that's all I ever knew. So I grew to love it, and my hometown really for me has just been my performing arts.
Absolutely. Let's run just quickly through some of your accolades. I know you've probably told this a lot, but for people who haven't heard it, going back to those years, you did a lot, in theater and stuff. Talk about that.
So I got my big moment in The Lion King on Broadway with the national tour. So that was my first professional experience. I had been training leading up to that since I was 5, though, getting vocal lessons and putting on multiple shows with the performing arts school I went to as a child. So Lion King was the stamp of what I was doing from all those years before 9, which is so crazy to think about. There's years before 9. I was really little doing all of this, but I got my big moment there. And for a year and a half, I traveled the world and performed every other day until I got too tall for the role, actually.
Do you feel like that really set you up for who you are today?
Absolutely, because, working with Disney, you have to have a certain level of professionalism, and that show only has 3 other kids in it, so in total it's 4, so we're really around adults our whole time that we're on that show. So you just have to know how to be, because there were some kids that didn't have that experience, and it would show. So you would have to know, okay, I have to listen, because we're adults right now. We have jobs. We're getting paid.
Yes.
We have to act accordingly. So it definitely set me up to just be prepared for anything.
Absolutely. And look at you now. You're a superstar.
Thank you.
Going back to those years when you were doing, Lion King and everything else you did, if you could go back and talk to yourself, just sit down with yourself, what would you say?
Keep doing what you're doing, because after leaving The Lion King, I definitely thought that I was going to become the next big Disney star. And when that didn't happen, I started to conform to what would be acceptable. And I feel like a lot of those years, I wasn't being myself. After maybe middle school to throughout high school, I became less cringy, you know, trying to be more cool. So like I wasn't embracing the stuff that I really love, but I would just said like keep doing that, because now I'm literally doing what I was doing as a kid. So if I would have kept going, it probably would have been even bigger than where we are now.
Absolutely. Feeling that you can be 100% yourself unapologetically puts you in the best probably mental space. You're at peace with yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Like I don't feel like I have to like find another way of being. Like I just wake up and do it.
Absolutely. And it's very natural for you.
Yeah.
That's how people fall in love with you the most, is when you're just giving them 110% of who you are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the vibes of the red. I'm loving it. It's vibing.
Thank you.
Give us the vibes, because I know before you came, you even had the red brows.
I did.
Is that a signature for you?
Well, you know, yeah. I was experimenting because I had to keep my hair black for like most of my life, because I was an actress. So, you know, when you're not anyone famous, you gotta, you know, remain clean cut so that they can see that you can look how they need you to look.
Right.
If you have red hair, you already seem difficult, because it's like, oh, we gotta dye her hair. She has to do this now. We have to spend more money on her. So I just really wanted to have fun for once. I was just being plain Jane for so many years. And when I turned 20, I started off with like orange hair, and that looked crazy. And then I was like, I think it's red for me. And then I just stuck with the red hair so I could feel like a different woman.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it fits you 100%. Not everybody could wear that red and pull it off. Like, it fits your image.
Thank you.
Any young ladies that are out there that maybe are somewhat intimidated by the world and not being able to fully express themselves, what would you tell them, young ladies?
I would tell them, you only have one life to live.
Yeah.
So I see now how quick life moves and how fast it goes, that like there's no point in trying to find something else when you're already you. And I think just being you is going to get you where you want to be.
Yes. It make you feel the best. You know, some people walk around literally putting on this facade every day of something they aren't, or somebody they aren't. I would imagine that would bring so much anxiety to someone's life.
Yeah, I mean, I've even experienced that just in the sense of like the music industry. You know, there's a lot of egos and personality. So even walking into certain rooms, you feel like you can't be yourself. And yeah, that is very exhausting, because it's just like, you know, you're not even walking the same, because you're completely not being you. And I've experienced that, and I'm like one of those people that feel the energy. So I may not intentionally trying to be something else, but the way the energy is going off of me, it makes me not come out all the way.
Absolutely, because energy, I say it all the time, energy cannot be destroyed. It can be transferred, but you can't destroy it.
Yeah.
So if you're around weirdo energy, it will rub off on us.
Yeah.
We ain't trying to take none of that home.
Yeah.
We have to protect our peace. Definitely. Transitioning more into the music side, you know, doing big things when you were little. What was that transition like for you? Because I know music has always been a passion for you, but now you're focusing more on the music side. What was that transition like for you?
Well, honestly, I just got fed up with the acting industry because I just wasn't booking the way I wanted to be booking. I booked a lot of voiceover work, so that also made me feel like, dang, y'all don't want to see my face? Am I not cute? Like, what's going on? So I just really said, okay, let's put that on the back burner and come back to it when I can backdoor it with my music. Because I knew that at least with music, I can give my 110% and, you know, do it that way. So that's where that came from. It really came from frustration.
Yes, it absolutely. And when you become frustrated with something, you will lose your passion for it.
Yeah.
You will, and you never want to fall out of love with your passion or what you do.
Yeah.
So now music is more your main focus.
I would say so, but I really do love everything now, because acting is a part of my music. Like, if I could put the music videos together that I wanted, it would be movies with the music. So I'm incorporating everything, but first we have to curate the soundtrack to the movie. So
yes, absolutely. And like I said earlier, you're very animated, and I love that about you.
Thank you.
It's no shade to the people who are animated, but a lot of them are basic and boring. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have that big energy, and that projects, and that's what's going to draw people into you for the rest of your life.
Thank you.
Absolutely. With music, what is it about music that just makes you feel so passionate?
That I can write about my life experiences. That's really it for me. Like being able to put how I feel into something productive instead of like soaking in it. Because before I used to have all these feelings and then just listen to sad music and then be sad and then nothing comes from it besides stress pimples. So now I can actually put it into my art and just get it out that way. Like I kind of, maybe I don't need therapy because I got the songs.
It could, because it is absolutely a form of therapy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because once I do that, I feel relieved.
Right. You have to figure out what works for you to get stuff off your chest, because we all carry stuff around.
Yeah.
Music, is that for you?
Yeah. I get a lot of it off on my chest. I get it off my chest in the music for sure. I mean, my first song, I Can't Love You, those who know what that's about. And then I made a video about it and it was pretty crazy. I had like someone get hit by a car, all kinds of stuff. So, you know, I like to put my feelings in the art.
Absolutely. Was that one of your most personal songs that you wrote?
They're all pretty personal, but I would say yes, that definitely is, because I'm, you know, stating facts in that song.
Yeah, speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's what's going to make people fall in love with you, because you're just being so authentic.
Thank you.
And it comes across like your energy is infectious.
Thank you.
It really comes across like, you know, and we're going to talk about something else that you just were involved with recently. And just even seeing you in that situation, I was like, that's my girl right there. Like that, you were just 100% yourself. And I love that about you.
Thank you.
Unapologetically.
Thank you. For
Absolutely.
real.
Absolutely.
It feels good to hear that, because, you know, a lot of people feel like I wasn't me. And like, it's so complex with that situation that, you know, it takes a lot of understanding to understand what they saw.
Right.
And they don't get that unless I speak up, and, you know, they got to come find my page to hear all of that.
Absolutely. Listen, they have to really get to know you as a person.
Right.
Because of course, when you get on the stage, you probably kind of transform. You get into, you know, your as an artist or your actor, or, you know, you get into that bag, right?
Yeah.
But you're still who you are 100%, and people got to get to know you off stage as well.
Right.
So going through the journey when you first started doing music until now, what do you feel like, you know, just be transparent. What do you feel like in your journey is something that is a strong point, and maybe something, I don't want to say weak, but something you feel like you could work on a little bit within yourself?
I think definitely something I could work on is like trusting myself, because when I started in this industry the music industry, you know, like I said, there's egos. And for some reason, music makes people feel like they're gangster or something. like music gives people a drive to feel like I'm better or something. I don't know what that's about. I mean, I get it, because I mean, if you can make a great song, like obviously you're gonna feel yourself, but it really gives people that energy. And me being a young Black woman in the industry who, you know, is very free spirited, it, I guess, threatened some people that I was working with, and a lot of people I was working with were men. I don't even think, I can count on one hand how many women I've worked with. So it's been a bunch of men. So with that experience, a lot of times my ideas weren't good enough, or they were, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. My ideas got shut down a lot.
Yes.
And so even now I still sometimes struggle with just, is this good enough? And then I go to the studio and then JaVinci's like, Madai, you're a writer. You just made a hit. And I'm like, hey, are you sure? Like, I still sometimes question that, because I was just told for so long that it wasn't good enough. But I think that's definitely something that I want to just trust in myself. And I think maybe you said my strongest?
Yeah.
Is that I really can't be no other way. Sometimes, like, even when I try, I'm like, girl, that's not you. Like, it doesn't work. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, I have to be me.
Yes.
So I think that's like my superpower.
Yeah, it is absolutely your superpower. And that's in my opinion, is going to draw the most genuine people to you.
Yeah.
Because they're going to love you for who you are. And what I have found, especially with social media, the people who have the least motion, have the most to say. Because they don't have anything going on.
Yeah.
Just keeping it G.
Yeah.
They're sitting home doing this all day, and they be trying to be the biggest bullies. They're the ones that telling you you're not good enough when they don't have anything going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know who you are as a woman, like you said, as a beautiful Black woman in this world, in this industry. You standing on that.
Thank
we
you.
standing on business.
We sure are.
Definitely. Let's just switch gears for just a brief moment.
Okay.
You had this appearance on American Idol.
I did.
And I just wanted to tell you, I quit watching American Idol years ago, just being honest, you know, but this year followed it because of you, you know, because I was like, that's my girl, you know what I'm saying? And I love the fact, from what I see, knowing you as a person, not just as, you know, the music artist, you really did your thing, like, you know, performing the Katy Perry and then singing Happy Birthday. You know, you switched it up. Take us through that journey.
Yeah, well, you know, they asked me to be me. They found me on TikTok doing the things that I was already doing, which was, you know, all the fun, wild things, and they referred to me as their little performer. They're like, you know, you're like a little performer. Let's have that on the stage. And I was like, okay, like this is different. They even told me, you know, American Idols this year is definitely wanting to have a lot more artists. So I thought there were going to be a lot more people like me on the show. So I was like, oh, this is a new route. Like I thought it was going to be something that felt more like literally like artist, you know, artist vibes.
Yes.
And so I was willing to do it for that matter. And yeah, they definitely encouraged me on my first go around about just completely being me. You know, it was encouraged to do other things that I guess they did find that did align with me, but I really did want to take my experience seriously. And with that said, I'm really referring to like, they wanted me to align myself a lot with Nicki Minaj, which I didn't mind because at first, before actually meeting them, I was like, this is going to be fun. Like, you know, I love Nicki. Nicki's from Queens. I grew up in Queens. She went to a performing arts school. I went to a performing arts school, literally down the block.
Yeah.
We're both Caribbean. I mean, we're both animated. We both went to the drama department. There was our lives definitely are aligned a lot. We're both Sagittarius. I mean, our lives really are a lot.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, that's cool. But I thought that was more so just like, not only was it the personality that they wanted me to have, like similar to that, but they even wanted me to do a song by her, which means they wanted me to rap. And so when I went on the show, you know, they were just like, can we find you? They wanted me to sing another song. At first they didn't want me to do I Kissed a Girl. They wanted me to sing Starships. So I started off like, let's go to the beach. And I was just like, you know, that'd be fun. But like, I thought I was supposed to like sing like, or, you know, just show more of the vocal ability. But I tell that to say, you know, it was just a roller coaster with what they wanted from me, and it was like hard sometimes balancing what they wanted, also doing what felt right to me, because a lot of times I like rejected a lot of it. Like they didn't air this, but Katy Perry asked me in the middle of the audition, like, so are you a rapper? And I'm like, I've never told you guys I was a rapper. So I was like, no, but you know, I am a bud gal like Nicki, if that's what because she asked me if I was a barb. She asked me all these things, you know, around that. So I just had to like think on the fly and not tarnish the situation, but just, you know, make it work for me. And because I love Nicki, and that's why it was like, okay, I'm with this.
Yes.
But at the same time, like, I'm Madai.
Absolutely. Do you feel like that, you know, with everything that you said and just being transparent, do you feel like that they were trying to kind of mold you into somebody that you're not, like you said, you know, doing the Nicki Minaj stuff? I
think that they might have thought that I hadn't figured out who I was quite yet. So they tried to give me someone to be like. The thing was, though, I did know. And I think that's really what it was.
I heard, what is the one judge's name?
Luke
Not
Ryan.
Lionel. Luke?
Yeah.
I heard what he said when you were first there, you know, saying that you were still a couple years. I'm like, what is he talking about? Because he don't know you. Mm-hmm. And it's like in situations like that, I'm not knocking them at all, because it does put some people in good positions. However, I feel like it's really difficult for someone who's only known you for 5 minutes to pass judgment on this, that, or the other. They haven't, you know what I'm saying? Like they need to kind of keep it more surface and get to know you to see, okay, this is maybe the direction we can take her in and see if you're even with that.
Yes, because it was definitely kind of like put on me. They're like, so like, would you want to sing a Nicki? So, and you know, like the way you just explained that is like so perfect, because instead of asking me where I want to go, they were like, kind of like trying to feed me these little things to see if I'd bite. Yeah. And sometimes I'd bite, and sometimes I'd be like, no, I don't want that. So they were doing a slow creep up on me when it came to this whole thing.
Absolutely. Do you feel like that's kind of what turned you off from the situation?
Not even. What really turned me off was that I realized this wasn't about singing. That is what frustrated me, because as a singer, there's a lot of care that needs to be taken in your body.
Yes.
That wasn't even something that we even had time to do. So if there's no time to take care of yourself physically and we're supposed to be singing, you already are not setting us up to do a good job.
Right.
So I mean, that makes their job easier to cut people, because then people are going to have more chances of not doing a good job or whatever the case may be. That's really what upset me. And them knowing that that time is not given to us, like as far as like we didn't have a sound check, our rehearsals were definitely less than 20 minutes. And when it came time to our performances, which lasted over 3 days, it looks like one big day to you guys. It was we had to watch 150 people audition for 3 days in our clothes, the same clothes, for 3 days straight, from the morning till the night. And I didn't end up going till the very last day. And they also don't even tell you when you're going to perform. So you're sitting there. You could be in the bathroom and they could call you, and that's your time to perform. Like, you literally don't know. So there was no preparation. And like I said, for me too, being an influencer that they already had found, they use a lot of me for their promotion and content and things of that nature. So before my performance, what I'm doing with you right here, I'm doing a lot of days before I'm actually supposed to be singing.
Right.
Like, you know, like I said, there's a lot of vocal care that needs to be, you know, in place. People like Brandy, she doesn't even talk a few days before a performance. So if I'm talking every day and I'm being asked about my voice, it's like, you know what's going on.
Absolutely, because you have to, like you said, there's a lot of self-care, especially as a singer. You know, your vocal cords have to be in check. If you're talking, day 5 after all this talking, it's like, okay, my voice isn't all the way there.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's like almost midnight too. Like, it's the end of the day at the end of the week. Like, it's just ridiculous. The conditions were definitely unethical. And for me, someone who has had professional experience working with Disney, which is a company that ABC owns, so they know what I know about the industry, that's not how it's supposed to go. This Hollywood week of, like, you know, this is what the industry's going to feel like. No, it's not. You think Beyonce is doing 20 interviews before a Renaissance concert?
Absolutely not.
No, she's resting. She's not speaking this much.
Yes.
And if she is, she's talking at a low volume. And I'm already animated, so I'm going to have to talk at just a higher level. And then on top of that, knowing that I give off energy to people that you know, might maybe be intimidated by me, I'm overly making sure that I'm coming off nice, because I know you might feel like I'm not going to be nice because of whatever you might think of me before you get to know me.
Yeah.
So it's just, there's already a lot as a person that I'm doing outside of being an artist on the show.
Absolutely. When they found you on TikTok and they approached you, what was your thought at that point? Like, okay, they're here to kind of pimp me out per se, because I have such a big energy and I have a great personality, like you said, and they're using you to promote their show per se.
Yeah.
Was that your first thought, or was it something different?
Not at all. I didn't realize that until the experiences were happening in the middle of the experience. Like, I was learning their game as we were playing it. When I first, like I said, when they reached out to me, they said they were looking for more artists. So I thought this was a moment where someone like me wouldn't be getting judged to this degree, because there's going to be a bunch of me's, I thought.
Right.
So I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. Is it safe to say that you would not have done American Idol had they not reached out to you?
Oh yeah, I would, because in my head I thought you had to stand in a line. I was never gonna stand in anybody's line to audition. I'm sorry, I already went through that. When I booked Lion King, I stood in a line of 800 people. I got blessed to be the one that got picked, but that's rigorous. I don't know.
Because really, at this point, you're past that. You know, like, you know, humbly, but you are. Like, I think you're bigger than having to stand in line for hours trying to audition for anybody. You already have, as who you are, set the bar. Yeah. You know, you've got that big presence already. That's what they seen in you. That's why they approached you.
Yeah.
What was the most positive experience that you took from it?
The most positive? I mean, I feel like everything is positive about it. Like, I'm not mad or angry. It's just like, this is just what it is. But I definitely met some great people there. I was able to touch a lot of other people. Like, it's so crazy because, like, everyone, I guess, doesn't like me right now with all this stuff. But, like, the people in the show are, like, my friends. So, like, wouldn't you think people wouldn't like me, period, all around, if I was just what I'm being portrayed as right now?
Right.
And even outside of what's happening on the show, I didn't have any drama with cast or crew. If anything, I was getting perks because they loved me. So I'm like, bruh, like, this experience is a little not what I was experiencing.
Absolutely. And you know, one moment in particular, like when you were performing and the guy who was supposed to be playing the piano was totally off from what, and I could sense your somewhat frustration, as I would have been too.
Yeah.
Because this is like a big moment for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I seen some people in the comments, you know, talking about her attitude. I'm thinking if you were on stage in her position on national television, I think they would have acted the same exact way.
Yeah, or not even, here's the thing too, that whether they would have acted the same way, they would have felt the same way. And the reason they wouldn't have acted the same way is because they were afraid to, not because they would have did it with grace that we keep talking about, because this grace, we're not gonna talk about grace. We know what grace is. That's not grace. I spoke to that piano man multiple times before my performance because I never knew when it was. I low-key was trying to get him to tell me. I was like, do you know when we're going? And he was like, I can't say. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, well, when this part comes up, let's make sure that we add, like, you know, just make sure you keep up with the rhythm with me, because I wanted to have a little bounce with it. And, you know, I was making sure that he was on the same page as me. So it's just, I don't know what they was trying to do. I know what I experienced. And by that point, knowing that I ended, because they don't show it in order either. I was like probably the fifth to last person after 150 people. So to see everybody go, not have any mishaps on stage with their piano. Now, granted, let me just say this, because we're going to talk about it. I'm someone that can admit, yeah, my first two notes starting off were definitely off key, but that's because of what I was telling you guys, not being able to take care of myself, not even being able to rest, not being able to get tea. Let's say that. The tea was offered to the crew, the people that are building the stage. They're not the ones singing. Why can't we get tea? But like I said, I was liked, so I was asking. I was like, can you get me some tea? I'm over here whispering to them. They're like, yeah, just go hide, make sure you're in the corner drinking it. Can you imagine that? I'm hiding drinking tea in the corner because the other contestants can't see me, because then if that's the case, everybody's gonna be needing tea. Like, tea should be one of the probably the basic things that we get.
100%, because it warms your vocal cords up.
And then they keep saying, keep the talking to a minimum. There's clips of us, they're like, everyone cheer, stomp, stomp, clap. They want us to cheer after every performance. How are we supposed to not use our voice, but you're asking us to use our voice? Then you're not letting us get tea. It's just a lot of different things. I don't know who specifically made this be what it is, but I made it work like this for me. And yeah.
I'm so glad that you spoke up, though. Like you said, not everybody would, because they might feel intimidated or afraid. And those are the people that end up getting run over.
Yeah, and honestly, I've been ran over a lot in the industry. So by this point, I said, this is my moment. I am going, and also too, getting this, like, I wanted to strip away this Disney thing off of me just a little bit. Yeah. Just as far as like what I'm aware of, because people think that when you work with Disney, you're just like oblivious. But if anything, we know the most about what's going on and how things are really done. So in that moment, I said, okay, if this is a moment for me to not become a pushover and someone that, you know, can be walked all over, I'm going to use this moment, because I don't know Luke Bryan, I don't know Katy Perry, and I don't know Lionel Richie. They don't know us. A lot of them, there's even a clip where they're like, I don't remember this guy. They don't know us. They've never spoke to us outside of what you see in that moment. And not to mention, they're repeating a lot of the same feedback for all of us because they don't know us.
Exactly. They have to be kind of generic with it almost.
Yeah.
Because like we said earlier, they've literally known you for maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They don't know who you really are. So for them to come out with some of the criticisms that they do with some people, because I did watch it a lot in the beginning, it's like, how? Like, that's 1 3-minute moment in time, if that. How long do they give you to sing?
Can't remember. I think it was definitely like probably less than a minute or a minute. I really don't know. But my performance got cut to like, it sounded like, I think it was like 15 seconds. Like my whole chorus got cut out, and you know, a lot of things are just not shown.
Yeah.
So it's just all unreal in itself, and yeah.
What would you say is like your takeaway from that entire situation?
My takeaway? This is showbiz.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It ain't for everybody, but it's for me.
I love your attitude about it too. Yes, absolutely. Because there's some people who would be sitting here right now and they would be so disgruntled and they would be putting out negative energy out. You've kept it positive, and I love that.
Thank you.
That's what makes you a superstar, and that's what separates you from a lot of other people, because you're not afraid to stand your ground. You're not afraid to speak up, because you know how talented you are. Thanks. You know this, most definitely. in the music industry, let's jump off of that now because it's about you. In the music industry as a whole, right now, 2024, what do you think about what's going on in the industry? Because there's a lot of people getting exposed to weird stuff. You know, does it make you feel like this is a business that you want to stay in?
Yeah, definitely. I do want to stay in it, but it makes me look at it more like, now, all right, since y'all take, I'ma take. And I just want to take and stay right here with the people who I know I can trust. Like, I don't really have any true aspirations to like heavily just be seen every 5 seconds with everybody who might be popular. I really want to be with people that I actually like and who actually like me. I don't really want to have any publicity stunts and things of that nature. So if I can create great relationships and remain in my own world and not have to, you know, deal with what's happening, like, firsthand, that would be great.
Absolutely. Going back to us saying protect your peace.
Yeah, and I really and really just protecting my family, because like they're being affected by what's happening too.
Absolutely. Let's talk about that just a little bit. Your family, you know, what do they feel like with everything that's going on? How do they feel about your current situation in the industry?
Well, my mom is team me. Like when we watched the actual episode, she was recording it, and after I said what I said, she was like, "Yep,
That's
and
my girl."
Yeah. So, you know, she's definitely supportive of it, and she just keeps, I feel like her now seeing what's happening has opened her mind to even think like more just about what else can we do?
Right.
Like she sees me in another light now. I mean, she's always seen me as what she seen me as because she put me in here and, you know, in this career. But now I think for her to see that I'm handling it, she's like, okay, well, we can take it a step further. Like, you know, she's doing a lot. And then as far as like my grandparents, because my grandparents are just like my number one fans, they're definitely like, sometimes they get scared, just, you know, like, my grandpa calls me after like everything he sees, and he's like, "Are you okay?" Like, he has asked me that. He asked me even when Idol came out. He was like, "Are you sad?" I'm like, "No, Grandpa, I'm fine." Aww. So yeah, they definitely care a lot, because the first time around I wasn't okay. Like, not what just happened, I was prepared, but the very first episode, I was sad, and my grandpa was sad, and until I got better, he was better. So
that's so sweet. Grandparents are like so special, aren't they?
They are.
They're like irreplaceable. Yeah. Of course, we love our parents, but grandparents, you know, I feel like in our grandparents' eyes, we do no wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
Do they live here?
No, they live in Massachusetts.
They're in Mass. Okay. Do you get to see them often?
Not since I moved to Atlanta, because I've been in such a grind mode that like it's just so hard to like get that to happen. But now that we're going up, I hope to have them around me, and I can, you know that they're safe. Like, them being so far away, I'm just like, no, you need to be right here.
Right, absolutely. Because I don't know, I have a soft spot for older people.
Me too.
You know, because then I get, you know, my dad's in his 70s now, and I think about like when he's out, he might move a little bit slower, and people getting impatient.
Yes.
I get frustrated with stuff like that.
Me too.
So you want to keep your people close, but I totally get it, because I definitely don't get home as often as I'd like. But when you're in grind mode, it's kind of difficult, but they understand that.
They do. And we have FaceTime, so it really helps.
That's the thing I was going to say, FaceTime. I purposely bought my dad an iPhone just so I could FaceTime with him, because I can't see him all the time. Yeah. So what are some of the things you're focusing on right now?
Right now, I'm really just focusing on expanding my brand, because, you know, what I do is so much more than music. So I've just been putting my face in a lot of different spaces and seeing which one just does more. So if that's being on streams, like I was with Kai, that's fun, doing comedy, acting, all of that, like everything.
Let's talk about that a little bit with Kai. What was that experience like?
It was crazy. My friend, sent me like a submission for it. Yeah. And it was like posted like 2 days prior. So I was like, dang, mad people probably already submitted. And it was going to be the next day too. So I'm like, they definitely already picked. But I submitted myself, and I was just working out in the gym the next day in like the noon time. And I got a call, and there was like barely any service. I was like, I'm so glad I got this call. Yeah. She was like, yeah, you know, Molly World casting.
Molly World, shout out Molly World. Yeah.
She's super dope. She called me, and she's just like, yeah, we would love to have you. And I'm like, are you serious? And they actually only had like found me from my American Idol audition, but I had just gone viral doing Beautiful Night with my friend. And I was like, well, can I do that? Like, can I have my friend like too? Cause like she was the one that sent it to me. So I was like, you know what? I feel like this is how I could pay it forward, because she sent it to me and it's working out. And then like, you know, so it was just wild.
Absolutely. Do you feel like having opportunities like that definitely helps and enhances what you have going on already?
Yeah, for sure. Because it just makes me see how much more I can do. Yeah. Like, being on stream was fun and improvising like that. I never met Kai before, so when I did that with him in that moment, I was just realizing like, okay, Madai, you're not as shy as you thought. Because I am shy sometimes. Like, even though I speak, I am, just because I'm speaking doesn't mean I'm not afraid of saying what I'm saying. I'm still nervous about it, but I feel like I just have to be. So just even in that experience made me feel like, okay, you still got it.
Absolutely. Do you find yourself in certain situations overthinking the situation?
Girl, I am overthinker queen at. Am I not? I am the definition of overthinking. You could Google it, you will see my face.
Listen, I am too. And it's like, I don't wish that on anybody, but sometimes it's almost comforting knowing that I'm not the only one.
Yeah, but I feel like I haven't met anyone that goes as deep in the hole as me. You will find me in outer space with my thoughts. Like, my mom will be like, what? How did you? And I'm like, you don't see that? Like, that's the first thing I saw. It's bad.
Do you find yourself almost talking yourself out of certain situations because you've overthought it so much?
Yeah,
I definitely do.
I do that a lot. Like, I guess, what's that, self-sabotage?
Absolutely. I'm the same way. And I'm now trying to work on that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to work because I feel like I almost block some of my blessings because of it. What can we do?
What can we do? Honestly, I just get in my zone and I just be like, I knew what I was doing when I did it. Like, I just start feeding myself the energy and then just sit in it. I really do. Like, I try to put on my little Kanye sometimes.
There you go. Certain music will get you through it. And one thing that I've been saying a lot in those situations, I'm like, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. It's not going to be forever.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, once you get through that situation, it was nowhere near what we were stressing out about and overthinking about.
Even right now for me, like, I'm like, this is really not as bad as you thought.
Right, exactly, exactly. See, we twins on that one, definitely. Twin.
Where have you been?
How important is it having good management?
It's really important, super important, because you need someone to manage things the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I don't really know what more I can say about that. It's just important to have good people around you that, you know, can talk to you and be there through the ups and the downs, because it's a lot of ups and downs. And that's like a big part of a manager's position, to be there and see that, because you're in this ride alone in the sense of like, there's only one of me. So yes. I'm the only one experiencing this. So to have a manager that is, you know, witnessing it too and feeling, you know, the effects of it, it's just important that they're willing to do that.
Absolutely. Being completely in tune with you as the artist.
Yeah.
And not being overbearing, because that could be difficult as well.
Yeah.
What are we currently working on? I know you've been putting some singles out. Are you at all in album or EP mode?
I am in EP/album mode for sure. Yeah, I'm planning to put out like at least 2 more singles by the end of the year, but definitely want to have a project ready for everyone to just be able to stream, since it's been asked for a lot. But my sound is just expanding for sure, because I just want to really hone in on something. I obviously have emo R&B going, so I'm going to put a stamp on that soon. And then, you know, dibble and dabble in another direction.
Absolutely. Possibly other genres? Mm-hmm. Definitely. What would be your next go-to genre?
I think R&B.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think now I'm going to have the resources to be able to execute a great R&B album, because, you know, it's important to have vocal instructors and all those things. So I'm going to be able to have that this go around, and that will allow me to grow as a singer, so that I can put out music that, you know, my voice is speaking for itself.
Absolutely. So in the coming music, what do you think we're going to hear different from music that you have previously released?
Definitely more bops, like stuff that you know. I mean, I guess my songs now, you do know the words and they're pretty catchy, but things that are just a lot more sophisticated, that are industry standard, like to another level that is undeniable. You know, I think right now I have a sound that is very like curated around me, and if you like it, you like it, but if you don't, you don't. But I think I'm going to be able to make a sound that everyone's going to be able to love.
Absolutely. You have that international type sound, if that makes sense. Like, you have the sound that I really feel like could captivate everybody.
Thank you.
Not just one audience. A lot of these artists out here, and it's not no shade to some of these like trap rappers, but they only capture a small audience. You have not only the personality, but you have the sound that I feel could capture the world as a whole. You have a little bit of something for everybody.
Thank you.
And you're transparent up too about that, about yourself through your music, and that is important as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely, most definitely. In life, take music out the equation. What makes Madai happy?
What makes me happy? Good company.
Yeah.
Like, I love being around people that I actually really love, and that really love me, like that want to be super silly with me. Like, I love to laugh. Like, I really just want to like do the most craziest fun things ever. Like, if I could go to a water park today, then an amusement park the next day, and then go-karting this day, like, I just want to do a bunch of fun stuff. Like, I love having fun.
We have to, because as we were speaking earlier, we never know when it's our time. We could check out tomorrow. We pray that we don't, but we just don't know.
Yeah.
So you have to live every day completely to its fullest.
Yeah.
Even on days where you may not feel that good, get out there and do something.
Yes. Yeah.
Laying around makes it worse, right?
It does. It sucks you in. Like, it's like a big weight that's on you when you just like don't get up.
I have a question, and I probably know the answer to this already, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
Okay.
As a music artist, do you feel like you're completely understood?
No, I don't think so.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's clear some things up. Because I feel like, as who I am, I'm very misunderstood to people who don't know me. What do you feel like you're maybe misunderstood about with the people who don't know the real you?
I think maybe my delivery, for sure. I think sometimes people don't understand my sense of humor. Because like what people find so rude, I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I laughed. I literally laughed. Like, no shade. Sorry, Luke. Love you. But like, every time I watch that clip, I just think it's so funny because I hear my heels. Like, I like did this step and I was like, can you sing? And I hopped. And I just think that's so funny because I'm like, I was standing on this like really small block and I kept like getting off of it and they're like, stay on the block. Because like I had on heels and it was just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But so when I did that, it's just funny about like the things that I do on the fly. So I think it's that people think everything is as calculated. It's not. Like, I really just be doing stuff. So I think my sense of humor is definitely like, you know, just misunderstood. And also just where I'm coming from, because since they don't know my story, if I was anybody else that was famous, people would be like, how dare you guys do this to her? You know that she doesn't deserve that, but they don't know what I deserve because they don't know where I've been.
Absolutely. From such a very young age.
Yeah.
Do you think that at any point in time you'll actually create a documentary about your life?
For sure. I would love to. Like, I be seeing little kids all the time, and I'm like, are you gonna play me when I'm like older? Like, I already think about stuff like that. So definitely, I feel like I can even talk about the first half of my life right now because so much has happened that like no one knows, and that's what makes the story even more crazy because I'm like being revealed to the world, but like I saw the world already.
Absolutely. You have experienced a lot, you know, and you're still very young. You have a long way to go. What about writing like a book? Is that something that would ever interest you, becoming an author?
Yes, I actually started writing this like children's book.
Okay.
And it was basically, you know, talking about me and, you know, as if I was writing it about someone else. But I would love to, I do want to do that because I just love doing things that inspire people. And I think I can really touch a lot of kids because my story is just, you know, kid relatable.
Absolutely. Without giving people too much, because the book is not finalized and out there yet, what can we expect, you know?
You can just expect me giving back a lot. That's something I've been wanting to do like my whole life. Like, even when I didn't have it to give back, I just wanted to give back because I've seen so many things. Even when I was in The Lion King, like they used to have us, there was like a lot of charities and organizations that came to the show, and I met so many people with just all different things that they're facing in their life, and I always had a heart for that. Like, I've befriended like homeless people when I was younger. Like they would be like outside like of our hotel, and like I would make them little bracelets. Like I always had a heart for just that.
Yes.
So you can definitely expect me doing things for the community and the less fortunate and just anybody that needs uplifting. Like I want to speak to people.
Yes, absolutely. So if somebody's, you know, interested in working with you on that level, maybe having you come make an appearance, are you open to that right now?
Yes, absolutely. I have already had some people asking me about doing that. I just did that last week. I went to watch these kids rehearse for a show that they had going on, and I just gave them some feedback, and I just, I just cheered them on, and I loved it because I'm like, that was me.
Yes, it probably brings you a lot of joy.
Yeah.
It brings you what else brings you joy? I know we talked about what makes you happy, but I think oftentimes happiness and real joy can be a little different.
Yeah, I think what brings me joy is like knowing that I have the means to help someone. Like it literally just does something to me where I'm like, I'm glad I can help you. Like okay, I don't want to be dramatic, but like even talking about it makes my eyes water because I love to help. Like, and I think I get that from my grandpa because my grandpa is like the biggest giver ever. Aww. He's Jamaican, so like we're all about love for real.
Yes,
and he's just always giving me everything. Even my grandma, like they've always spoiled me, but they did it in a way where it was like, I want to help you. I want to give you this, and I love doing that for other people.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this: I'm a fan of Lizzo. And she just made a post recently talking about I quit. So a lot of people thought she meant she's quitting the industry, but she explained a little deeper that she is quitting feeding into the negative energy because she gets a lot of flack because of her size and the way she dresses.
Yeah.
How should young women in this industry handle situations when they're getting so much negativity thrown at them? I
think they should handle it in a way that makes sense for them. Because for me, I pick and choose what I respond to. If I respond to anything, it's because it feels like I want to, not because of like I want to just be difficult or argue. I never want to argue because they're gonna lose. But I just like to clarify some things, and I think take everything with a grain of salt. People are always going to have their 2 cents, same way we have our 2 cents. And yeah, they're always going to talk because you're doing something right.
Absolutely. Like we said, the people with the least amount of emotion have the most to say.
Yeah, and it's crazy because the critiques I get now, like, everyday people who are like doing creative things, they're getting critiqued on like, oh, your music's not good or things of that nature. I'm getting critiqued on now, like someone just made a comment, like, no shade to them, like I took into consideration, but they were like, oh, the editing, like, I love this, but like the editing was just too strong in the eyes. People don't even make enough content to get critiqued on their edits. So now I'm getting critiqued on a higher level. So at this point, y'all trying to get me to be as perfect as I can be, essentially, because I'm already doing the things that you would have probably commented on before,
Absolutely. And, it goes back to, again, just keeping it who you are. Some are going to love it, some are not, and that's okay. And something you just said is a valid point. Not everything deserves a response.
Yeah.
You pick and choose, because some things will open up a whole can of worms and go down the rabbit hole, and that's when we start overthinking, and it's not even worth it.
Yeah, that happened to me this morning. I had saw this long message, and I wanted to address it, and I opened it, and I just was typing, and I was like, and I just backspaced all of it and then blocked them. But then sure enough, before I even said anything, I didn't even get to say anything because I just changed my mind. They like noticed that they got blocked within 30 seconds and went on their other account. And I'm like, so you were waiting for this. Like you wanted this. So it's like, yeah, don't respond, because imagine how they responded. They were ready to come for me.
Super troll.
Yeah.
We don't deal with people like that. Definitely. So very next, what's for you?
Very next, what's for me? Well, I will be making a lot more appearances on like platforms that, showcase artists that you've seen. And music, visuals, brand deals, all the things. Like, you're going to see my face. You might get tired of me.
I love it. No, we're not going to get tired of you. Just keep being you. We love it. The energy is infectious.
Thank you.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
For anybody who's interested in working with you, I know you have a phenomenal manager. What's the best way, in the most professional way, for them to reach out to do business with you?
Okay. Well, I do check my DM, so you can DM me. Also, my email, Madai ChaKell official @gmail.com. And my manager, but talk business, please, because there's a lot of people that are reaching out, and utilize our time.
Listen, I have to check people on. Now I'm thinking, some of these guys, I'm old enough to be their mother, and the way they approach me, I'm like, if you can't keep a business, don't contact me.
Yeah.
It's on some, just because you like someone's picture does not mean you're feeling them.
That's true too.
They take it to a whole new level. Definitely. Yeah. Where can people follow you out on your socials?
Madai ChaKell, MADAICHAKELL.
Absolutely. And that's across the board on everything. YouTube, all your social platforms. Is there a website?
Yes, there is. Madai ChaKell official.com.
Make sure you check it out. Is there anybody that you want to give thanks to, shout out to, show some love to?
Shout out to Josh. He got me on American Idol. Thank you for that. Shout out to my mom, my manager, my team, my family, God, and everybody who loves me, all my followers and fans, and just everyone who's been sticking up for me in the comments. Like, seriously, I see you guys, like the pear guys, y'all eat. So thank you.
And shout out to yourself.
Shout out to me.
That's right. She's phenomenal.
Thank you.
Last but not least, we are live. We got to drop it. Big Industry's Most Wanted, not the little one.
Wanted.
What makes you the industry's most wanted?
What makes me the industry's most wanted? What you think? They're always talking, and I think that they want people that are being talked about.
Yeah.
I can bring in numbers and ratings, and I can sell things, and I can make you believe anything.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We got to do this again and again and again.
Yes.
You always bring that good energy, positive vibes.
So do you. You ask like the most amazing questions. I'm like, oh, yeah, I had to think about that.
That's what I like. I'm like a freestyle rapper. I'm a freestyle interviewer.
No, you were good. I was thinking like, I was literally sitting here thinking to myself, is she like, how is she rolling up the next question
It's literally in my head. I don't have.
It's good.
Yeah. Well,
it's
thank
really
you.
good.
I
need to learn
that.
from you.
Listen, maybe we should do an episode together.
We should. Hello.
Coming soon. We up out of here, y'all.
I could be the one for you, baby. Could have been the one. You see me all up in your Insta feed. I'm so excited, put your hands on me. Losing your mind with all my energy. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you got it. They were mad when they started treating me different. I know they were mad when they started treating me different. I know they were mad when they started treating me different.